Hello friends, my name is Andrew Apanov and I'm a founder of a music marketing agency and industry blog called Data Music, and since recently also a marketing educational platform for electronic music producers and DJs called Wispin. I've been in the music industry for around 12 years now, and for several years I had been an instructor, a music marketing instructor at XSSR Academy. And right now on the English version of the website you can find a section in the courses menu right here called music marketing, and there you can learn what is Wispin. And from here you can go to a website of Wispin, which looks like this, and here you can learn even full details about the membership platform, which it is. We provide different video courses on how to brand yourself, how to market your music and get fans and gigs and money and press publications and so on. There is a number of different discounts from our partners and special deals, and we release music on our record label and so on, so you can learn everything about that right here. But I'm still very engaged with XSSR Academy, of course, and I'm happy to present a quick video for you, which is a part of Wispin. And in this video I cover some of the basics of Twitter setup. So even though it's very straightforward and easy to understand how to create a Twitter account, and I hope that you've been using Twitter already, it's not as obvious how to make it optimized and how to create a profile that is working to get you new fans. And in this video you will learn the basics of how to get these things right. So hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments to this video. I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you. So let me assume that you have already created an account on twitter.com. If you haven't, please do so. The process is very straightforward. Just provide all the information, confirm the account, and you are ready to go. Right now, what I wanted to talk about is the importance of filling out all the information on your Twitter profile and the importance of consistency and keeping your information up to date. This is very important and something that is missed by many artists. So what we've got here and what we can edit basically. Right now in the new Twitter design, it's very easy to edit information and images right from the page when you are logged in under your profile, and you can change all the information here. Let me start with the profile photo that you've got. I recommend using your photograph where possible, and it's great if your face is properly visible there. It makes it more personal, and remember that Twitter in the first place is a social network for people, not just companies. You're your own brand, and even if you're a band and not a solo artist, consider using a photo as a profile photo on your Twitter account. A logotype is a good option as well, especially if it's a sleek one, but I recommend using photo where possible. The name, pretty obvious. The bio, we'll get to this very shortly. And the header photo, I recommend you updating it when you've got something happening. You've got a new release out, there is a tour, or there is another kind of event. So keep your Twitter header up to date, just as a Facebook timeline cover. Update it frequently. It's not difficult to create a proper, a great looking Twitter header, for example with a tool called Canva, and I'm linking to the lesson about Canva in the notes to this lesson below. And even I should actually update my Twitter header, which I will be doing shortly, to showcase some of the projects we've been working on right now. And here is why you have to do this. For most people who will follow you or who will not follow you, you have only one chance to make an impression, only one chance. Because if a person comes to your profile and likes what they see, you've got a chance to be followed by that Twitter user, and then later on your tweets will be displayed in this user's feeds, maybe on twitter.com or Hootsuite or TweetDeck or any other app. So people will not be returning back to your profile to check all the information and how your profile looks like most of the time. Sometimes it will be happening, it may happen for a number of reasons, but most of the times people see your profile like on twitter.com here just once. So you need to make sure that information is up to date and that you convert a part of the traffic that comes to your Twitter profile into email subscribers, for example, or maybe even buyers. So you need to keep people informed of what's happening right now. It shows that the project is active, that there is something happening, and it helps you convert the visitors on your Twitter profile. So keep it updated. Here is one more thing that is missed by many Twitter users, because if you don't use any special tools, you may not realize that there are applications that many people, and especially power users, utilize for their Twitter marketing and management that display only some of the information, and mainly they display the profile image and the description. That's why the description is in fact the most important part of the Twitter profile. So what you write here should make sense and be informative, and ideally include a call to action, although it's not always applicable. I, for example, use Social Bro to check profiles of who followed me, and I can see the profile images as a very small thumbnail and the description, and I can see that the person is a musician, for example. I follow them back, and I can see that a person is like by 1,000 followers kind of account. I don't follow them back, and I see this information from the description. And if there is no description, I do not follow people back unless I know who the user is. So if you don't have this information filled out, you may be losing followers easily, even when you just simply follow other users hoping that they will follow you back. We will be talking about the ways to increase the Twitter following in a separate video. And by the way, after I finish about this part, I will show you some examples of Twitter profiles of other musicians and comments on them. But right now, some more information about this description. I recommend adding information about who you are as an artist. It should be a very short pitch, and it should be descriptive, mentioning the genre of music and specifics of what you do. If you're a singer-songwriter, if you're a producer or a DJ, or if there is like several things, like in my case, I try to mention what I felt were the key things about my current and past that I want people to be aware of if they discover my profile on Twitter. And it's very common, and it is a good practice to include a call to action with a link. I do recommend these to most of the clients we work with at Dot Music. So when there is a new release or a new music video, you include a link to it right in the description, in the second part of the description usually, leaving the link, the URL, just for the your website, and include a link that you want people to follow right now in the description. Another thing that is important is adding a bit of humor to the description. I try to joke a little bit in my description in the past. Right now, there is nothing funny at all, but it works very well when you leave funny comments in the description. So it just helps converting visitors into followers very, very well, and I highly recommend these. And it's not a secret that some agencies even hire stand-up comedy actors to write social media posts and bios, which is pretty fascinating in my opinion. So one more thing is the new feature of Twitter, relatively new feature called pinned tweets. I really like this thing, and I encourage you to use it. It's another way to highlight an event or a piece of content that you want people to see, watch, listen to in the first place when they discover you. It's also a way to showcase something that has been popular on your profile. Like in this case, I featured my podcast episode, and it's been retweeted 7 times and favorites 11 times. So it kind of looks good. And people may be checking the profile. They may see that I've got a podcast, so they may want to check it out, and they may see that it's been somewhat popular. And another little thing that I want to mention to you is that you can actually promote your content on Twitter through direct messages by pinning tweets. So when you send a direct message, you cannot add a URL at the time of this recording, at least. So you can pin a tweet and you can send people direct messages with a quick hi and a couple words about the recent post that you've written or the latest EP that is out, and leaving a phrase which may sound like a pinned tweet on my profile. So people will realize that they just need to go to your Twitter profile and they will see a tweet with the link. So it's pretty nice and handy, and I always recommend you pinning the most important piece of content that you've got right now. Now let's go over some profiles quickly. And for example, we've got a profile of Wiela here. Very simple example of just short and sweet explanation of who this artist is, and a hashtag just promoting the hashtag of the current campaign, and the link to a video. And here is another example of Wispina, actually, Alex Freecon. And I really like generally how Alex writes. And here it's, I think, a brilliant several words bio for Twitter. You can see it right here. And then we've got a call to action, a link to free downloads of the recent EP, which is called Music That Doesn't Suck, by the way. So we've got the cover here, and a Twitter header which represents this latest release. And if you go to profiles of more established artists with big followings, you may notice that they have just the call to actions in their profile descriptions, and like these are the verified tweets, like in this example. And generally speaking, these accounts are followed by people who are well aware of the artist, so it's a well recognized name, and they don't need to kind of introduce themselves. This said, I recommend you always having a short description of who you are, with indication of your genre and what you do at the beginning of your description, even if you have a campaign going on. So always think of people who don't know who you are right now, and even if at some level of success, you better still introduce yourself. To me, it's just a good thing to do, and I do recommend this. Yeah, so for established artists, it's very common to just have call to actions. Here we can see some tour dates and graphics updated, showcasing the latest tour dates. And here we've got fantastically awkward Twitter header. It's Paul Oakenfold's account, and he just calls his followers to vote in a poll. Yeah, I guess I won't be commenting on this way too much, but this definitely is not an example of good graphics for a Twitter profile. And here we've got just the information about the bookings, even with email addresses, and a link to the latest release on Beatport. So just the key kind of recent information, which is acceptable for a well-recognized artist. And you can see that the Twitter header represents the recent release. And here we've got Steve Aoki, and he promotes Twitter accounts of his label and links to other social media profiles. It's a good practice. I do not recommend everyone doing this, because people usually won't be like clicking your links and going to all your profiles. One call to action is enough. So just make it very clear what you want a person to do, like download my free EP here, or like buy my latest release, which is not as good as a call to action where you ask people to get some stuff for free just to get into your email list. I'm speaking for the case where your main goal is reach and acquisition of fans and not just monetization. When you're Steve Aoki, you definitely focus on engagement and sales. So it's very normal and expected to link to the latest release. And here we've got my profile again, so nice. Okay, so I hope that this was useful. See the notes below the video and ask questions that you've got on the forum.